Well, hello everyone. Momma Jo here. How's everybody doing? I got a very special recipe for you all tonight. It's kind of in celebration of my growing channel. I know I've got a long ways to go, but I feel like a short time to get there. I have a recipe that used to belong to my Great-Aunt Eunice. She passed away, I want to say, either back in the late 90s or in the early 2000s. And she was well known for this. And I'm pretty sure you're not going to find this particular recipe because this was her recipe, her baby. And she was one of those people who didn't measure anything either. But I used to bug her all the time because when we would go to her house and she'd make her famous it's applesauce cake. Everybody loved it, and she never gave the recipe out to anyone, but I guess persistence paid off because eventually she did end up writing it down on a piece of paper for me. And I'll tell you what, with these instructions and everything, you can tell she left out some stuff. Because the first time I made it, you know, my mom and my stepfather, when he was still living at the time, they said, it still doesn't, there's something missing. It's still not exactly like her applesauce cake. So I kept after my stepfather because it was his sister at the time. And, you know, he eventually got it out of her. There's a couple different things that she... Like, I don't know if she intentionally didn't put it in there or she just kind of wanted to keep it, you know, the recipe strictly to herself. But I think I have altered and I've changed up a few things and I think I've nailed it. Okay, so I'm going to go over some stuff with you. You want to get your oven preheated. She had 350 or 375. I'm going to go with 350. That's what I do it on because 350 is like the universal baking temperature for most cakes and things. And you're going to want a nice, good size bundt pan. Mine, I think, kind of has like a non-stick exterior to it, and or interior to it. And I use some of that, what's that called? Oh, it's got the flour in it, in the spray. Baker's Joy. I use Baker's Joy, but I sprayed it well because it has flour and like a lubricant in it. And then I took my my little silicone brush and went over it really well. So it's greased really well on the inside. I'm going to set this out of the way for now because I just have this little limited area here where you all can see me work on. Now the next thing that I couldn't understand why she put 1.5 cup boiling water and then she put in parentheses last thing. So I figured what she did is you're going to need a box of raisins. I would have preferred to use golden raisins, but I didn't have golden raisins, so I do have a 12-ounce box of just the regular raisins. And I stuck 1.5 cups of water in the microwave, and I think I boiled it for like 4 minutes. And then I took the whole box of raisins and I put it in here. We want to let them soak and let them plump back up because they're, you know, of course they're dehydrated. And I think the reason she does that is so that if you add the raisins dry straight into the mix, it's all going to probably sink to the bottom. So we don't want to do that. So that's why I have them soaking and setting to the side. I'm going to drain them here in a little bit. So some of the other ingredients you're going to need is, of course, it's applesauce cake, so you need some applesauce. I have a big container here, 46 ounces. It's 2 pounds, 14 ounces of unsweet. Make sure you get the unsweet applesauce. You need 3 cups. So I have 3 cups here set to the side. One of the things that she put in her, in here was she used 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. I actually tweaked it and I changed mine up. And I have made this numerous times. It's just been a long time since I've made it. I have 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour in here. And we're going to go ahead and add the rest of the dry ingredients we need and get them stirred together. Okay, and we'll go over some of the other ingredients as we go. We need 2 teaspoons of baking soda. Okay. All right, there's 2. And like I said, I altered mine from her a little bit because she uses 1 egg, and I feel like 1 egg's not enough. You could do 2 eggs, but I'm actually doing 3 because this is a large cake. Okay, so I'm just going to give you the ingredients that I use. So that was 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Okay. Just 1. Okay. 4 teaspoons of cinnamon. Cinnamon, as most of us knows, goes really well with anything to do apple fall. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, I heard recently that cinnamon, certain brands have been recalled due to having lead in them. So you could easily Google that and check what kind of brand of cinnamon you have and make sure you don't have any cinnamon that has lead in it, because lead's not good for your health. Okay. All right. We need 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. It really smells really good. Okay, and then I have a teaspoon of cloves. Now, it seems like a lot, but... And a teaspoon of salt. Okay, there's a teaspoon of salt. Now, I think in her old recipe, she actually added some allspice, but I don't think I'm going to, because I've got enough with the cloves and the nutmeg and the cinnamon. You know, you could add ginger. You could change it up a little bit if you wanted to. All right, I'm just going to whisk the dry ingredients just so it'll be ready for when we go to mix everything else together. Okay, all right, there's the dry. I'm just going to set that over here out of the way for now so it's out of your view, but okay. Now, you know, she never used a mixer for everything. I mean, what she has here, she says, large bowl, stir all ingredients together thoroughly. Mix spray cake pan with pan or cooking spray. Flour pan lightly. Pour in. Bake 1 hour to 1 hour and 15 minutes. Remove from oven. Cover lightly with a cloth till cool. And then she says, light icing if desired or glaze. Now, you could do that. I don't think she ever did. And I'm going to share those couple secrets with you, too, when we get to it. That I found out that she left something out on purpose, I think. And the other thing was, how she kept her cake, how she stored it, and how she kept it nice and moist. So, in the microwave, I'm going to duck under here. So, it's back here. She used Crisco. I have used 1.5 sticks of butter before. And since I'm doing this in honor of her, I'm going to, and I had it on hand. I have butter flavored Crisco. 1.5 sticks is 3/4 of a cup. So that's what I did. Put this in a microwave for like 30 seconds. You know, we don't want it melted. And I'm just going to, just soft enough to work with, because we're going to, you know, add the wet ingredients to this. Okay, I'm just going to take my whisk, and like I said, I've never seen her use yeah, it's soft enough to work with. Okay, now she used, according to her, it was 1 cup of sugar. Okay, yeah, more if desired. And I think the reason she put more if desired because she left out the one other ingredient that I'm going to be adding to it. Now I have done 1/2 cup of white sugar. I've done 1/2 cup of brown sugar before, but today I'm just going to do the 1 cup of sugar. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just using my, right now I'm just using my blender, or not blender, my whisk. And just kind of cream them together. Now I've had those raisins over there soaking for a little bit, and I'm going to get ready to drain them because it's not going to take us long once I start adding some of this other stuff in here. Okay. Oh yeah, there we go. Let me smooth over this way a little bit. You know, I've tried moving you all up on the counter area. If I put you back there, then you're kind of viewing me from behind. If I put you up there, then you're right up against the cabinets and you still can't really see. So you're just going to have to bear with me, folks. So basically, this is what they call creaming the butter or the Crisco and the sugar together. All right, I'm going to go over here and get my strainer. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go over here to the sink and I'm going to drain these. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you what those other ingredients are. You know what that is? That's honey. I have about 1/2 cup of honey. And, you know, make it with less. And then if you think it needs sweeter, you could always add more. Let's see if I can get that out of there. And, you know, my stepfather, you know, got it out of her eventually. She was like, you know, she made that cake and for some reason it still didn't taste like yours. And I guess that's when she decided to fess up and you know, let us know that she left out. Maybe she absent-mindedly left it out. I don't know, but it is some kind of good. It's one of those old-fashioned, you know, recipes that you just don't really see that kind of stuff around too often anymore. It's like, you know, a dying art. Okay, I've got 3 slightly beaten eggs. That's going to go in. I'm I'm wondering, I may want to, I'm not sure if I want to use this whisk now since I got some more liquid in here, because I'm probably going to go, when I go to add the dry ingredients, I'm probably going to get something a little stiffer to use. See, I can whisk really well right now because I've got the liquid in there. It's going to be, you know, a thicker batter. Okay, we're going to put that applesauce in. I have some applesauce left over out of that big container. Alright, that's all been whisked in. We got the dry ingredients. These are all the wet ingredients. I'm going to put the raisins in, but I'm going to put them in... do I want to put them in now? You know, there's another trick I've heard, though, too, when it comes to, like, nuts. And we're probably going to put some nuts in that, too. I mean, that's an optional thing. If you like nuts, put nuts in it. If you don't want nuts... If you don't want raisins, I guess you could leave them out. I think raisins and nuts go really well in there. I'm debating on whether I want to take some of that raisins and just kind of sprinkle a little flour. Like I'm thinking about dumping that in a bowl, or just take some flour over and sprinkle it on it and kind of toss it just a little bit, and that will also help them. But with them being soaked, I want to make sure they broke up. Okay, let me find my, oh, here we go. I'm getting ready. Like I said, I'm going to be putting them in, but I'm going to put these dry ingredients mixed in here. But I didn't get my nuts ready. Let me get my nuts chopped up and everything, and I'll be right back. All right, folks. I went back and looked at that recipe over again. And you know, I did soak that whole box of raisins. I'm not going to use that. That's a lot of raisins. After it plumped up, and I looked at her recipe, she used 1 cup of raisins. So I went over there. These have already been plumped up. And I made sure they were pretty well drained. There's probably 2 cups. I'm not going to use 2 cups. I'm going to use 1 cup of raisins. Like I said, I'm trying to follow pretty close to her recipe. And I have a half a cup of walnuts here. Okay, so here we are back to, remember the liquid stage. I'm just going to dump all this in here and whisk it together because, you know, when you go to do, when you make pumpkin bread or zucchini bread, you don't have to, you know, like slowly, gradually add your ingredients. So I'm just going to stir here. I got me a nice strong spoon. And as I'm working this in, I should have the, hopefully have the arm strength to do it. Like I said, I used to do it when I was much younger too, back then too, when I used to do this kind of stuff all the time. Oh, okay. I wish you all could smell this. Alright. It's that simple. Alright, I'm just going to take those raisins. I'm going to stir those in. Along with, I'm choosing to use walnuts. Whoop. One little one on the ground there. I'm just kind of folding, stirring. All right, I'm going to bring that bundt pan over here. just going to kind of spoon it in for right now. Just kind of turn it and spoon it around. Okay, I've made one layer. I'm just going to keep going around until I get it all in there. Hope this bun pan is large enough. We shall see. It's not a really thick batter, actually. It's kind of pretty light. All right, I'm trying to scrape down get some of this off the sides now. Sorry about that. Time to get the good old spatula out here. Okay. I'll be able to get some more. Look at that. You'd be surprised how much more you can get out using that. That's pretty good. Now, I'm just going to kind of, I got a little bit here on the edge here. I'm just kind of taking my spatula and going around, kind of smoothing it a little as I go and trying to get it down in you know, these pans are not exactly completely round. They have these little grooves. So I'm just kind of helping it a little bit. And you know, as it bakes, it will kind of flatten out some too. Make sure it goes up here to this edge. I'm going to tap it a little bit over here. Give it a little jiggle. Look at that. Okay, I hope it doesn't raise too much. Okay, it's going in the oven. I'm setting it for an hour. She said an hour to hour and 15 minutes. With it being applesauce and all those like raisins and stuff, it might need an hour and 15, maybe an hour and 20. So I'm going to put it in the oven and I'll bring you all back when it comes out so you can see what it looks like. Okay, we'll be right back, and it'll be an hour or so for me, but it'll be just a few seconds for you guys. Hold on.